Hi everybody, welcome to a very special series that's close to my heart. I'm here because, well, did you know that most people's problem is themselves? Anyway, I'm here to teach you how to speak softly and carry a big sword through heavy use of metaphor, example, and probably some ridicule, to be honest. Like, you suck. You suck at navigating most social situations because you overreact and you don't really listen. Yeah, yeah, I like them apples. The first lesson is observational skills. You'll notice I shift tracks about midway through because there's almost always a better way around if you look for it. I didn't get to the top 3% by derping around. Oh, wait, yes I did. As Einstein once said, I'm not smarter than the average person. I just worked through a problem for longer. And I'll tell you what, the number one guy came back later with upgrades from the end game because of the first run. Now, our first example comes from the Gunslinger series. It was when our gunslinger, Roland, was being trained as a child by his teacher, I believe his name was Court, to, effectively pick up a large gun and kill people. Something you don't entrust a child to lightly, to say the least. So, Court explains to them incredibly early into their training that he will teach them to see more in one moment than most people will ever see in a lifetime. And as a child, that really stuck with me. Although I shouldn't really say child, I was a teen when I read those books. It really stuck with me because I knew I was already too old to be that effective. But that didn't stop me from striving to be highly observational. And you may say, Mr. G, this is a fictitious book. How could anyone blah 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 see all the blah blahs? Well, I would have to say to that jet pilots very frequently have higher reaction times than most human beings and better eyesight than most human beings. To which you may say, well, nah, those are the top 0.001%. To which I would say, yeah, of course. So why don't you just strive to be better than me? Like, I'm not even saying I'm the most observational, but I'll say that I'm certainly better than a lot of people. So I will substantiate that claim with two facts. Yeah, facts. First one being that I've been paying attention my whole life to what you're not paying attention to, and I'll say you're not paying attention to a lot. Sad to say, you're missing a lot of stuff. Anyway, I will go over to a more substantiated claim and say that I have a friend who is now a nuclear naval technician who would tell you Mr. G may be annoying, but he's sadly right most of the time. And on that note, from the exasperated admittance of someone whose opinion you should be able to trust because they're out there defending your rights. Well, actually, maybe not your rights. I don't know where you live. Anyway, you might be asking, Mr. G, how do I practice my observational skills? To which I will reply, Rome was definitely not built in a day, but as a gamer, you're on the right track. So stay tuned for, future episodes that'll lay the foundation. But in the meantime, stay tuned for how to, like I said, speak softly but carry a big sword. Your first lesson, young Padawan. I like Grasshopper better. Your first lesson, young Grasshopper, is the same lesson that the god celestial machine thingamajigger in Futurama tried to teach Bender. If you're doing everything right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all. A big part of being a fairly functional human being is not just flipping off the handle. It's taking the time to think. What 1 to 4 sentences can I use to completely resolve this scenario? And I'll give you an example. because a young man came to me today, and he mentioned he was being bullied at school, but he also mentioned that, he was a fit kid, and these kids didn't really have any place picking on him. And I told them, it's probably just because they think they can. And they're probably right. This kid needs a little bit of a boost of confidence. So I told them, next time one of these kids is haranguing you, you wait until they're alone, you pull them over, and you say these simple words. Look, man, I'm tired of your shit. Simple as that. My buddy wanted to take it a step further, threatening the other bully, stuff like that. The threat's implied, my friends. You don't need to threaten anybody. In fact, by not making the threat, you're in a more powerful position, because they have to kind of figure it out themselves. And when most people are left to figure things out themselves, they just worry. It's plain and simple. And when people worry, then they're afraid, and then they leave you alone. So, you don't ever need to really escalate, because a few simple words go a long way. And I will back that statement up by an experience of my own. And I'll start this story by saying the footage is about to shift midway through, but stick with me on the footage. It backs up another point I plan on making. And the other thing I want to mention is you shouldn't be going around threatening people. These examples I'm giving are probably pretty bad. You should probably not. No. Okay, alright, let's put a positive spin on this, alright. So what I'm trying to teach you, between appearing as if you've done nothing at all and making threats, is, standing up for yourself in a way that shows that you are not to be trifled with, but you are not also out to, shank a fool. You get it? Everything here is gray, okay? Okay, let's get on with the story. So, for a while, I was working as a line cook, and we had a new sous chef, and his name was Peter, and he let me call him Petey Pete. And I was commenting to one of my fellow employees one day that, it's kind of weird that someone who's in a position of authority lets me call him by what is essentially an incredibly playful name, and how I would not like it if someone called me Jackie Jack. To which John, the man I was working with, replied, "Okay, Jackie Jack." To which I looked him square in the eyes and said, "Seriously, don't. I will buckle your knees one day, and you will go down on the flat top. You are very heavy." He never mentioned the Jackie Jack thing again. Yeah. So it's about ending the fight without ever fighting, my friends. Talking softly, carrying a very large sword that you never, ever have to use because of how softly you're talking. But that has nothing to do with what's going on in the background. So you guys ready for another story, or should I have cut the episode right here? Let me know in the comments if this should have been like a teaser, or if I should keep talking, because I'm gonna keep talking. Yeah, let me know.